Welcome to Beyond the Prep, a podcast dedicated to providing information and insights into the bodybuilding sport. This podcast covers a wide range of topics from finding a coach to the struggling of competing, nutrition, supplements, cost, and much more. I'll be talking with competitors so you can hear their stories, judges, coaches. If you're interested in sharing your story, send me a note at skapach40@gmail.com. Welcome to Beyond the Prep. I am your host today, Sherrie Capach, and I have with me John Mark, who will be competing today at the TNT Muscle. Welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So how did you get into bodybuilding?
For me, it was as a kid, I was always someone with way too much energy,
Oh, okay.
and without something to expend my energy, I was just an absolute just a crazy kid, and I needed something to calm me down. And thankfully, my dad, Norman Nicolet, was a bodybuilder growing up, and he competed as well and stuff. And he got me training in the gym at a very young age.
Oh, okay.
Had me taking lots of supplements and stuff when I was younger. I was always very small, and just growing up playing sports and stuff. I was always the smallest guy. Well, one of the smallest guys, and just being one of the smaller guys was already a very big driving factor just to put on muscle.
Right.
And so about from grade 8 to grade 10, I was only about 100 pounds.
Oh.
And so my dad got me training with him in grade 8. And then I always loved the gym, even at a very young age. I'd always go with him. And then he'd show me sort of everything, what to do. But my dad wasn't someone who was had to really push me to go there with him. He knew that I wanted to be there with him. And so instead of trying to motivate me to hit weights, it would more so be oh, hey, you're looking small today, stuff like that. Or it'd be like, you're only benching this amount of weight, and or it'd be like, you need muscles to wear muscle shirts. And those are the things that really motivated me to actually train harder.
Right.
It's obviously just joking around and stuff.
Yeah.
But
It worked for you.
it worked well for me.
Yeah.
And he knew that I had a drive and a passion for lifting weights.
So you've always been around it. You grew up with it. And so when did you decide that you actually were going to compete?
For me, it was after about grade 8 to grade 10. And grade 10 was when I started wrestling more seriously. And wrestling really sort of correlated to my bodybuilding, as just making weight and staying lean and doing movements that are similar, and aesthetics, just like wearing the singlet and sort of like the same thing where you're pumping up backstage or you're waiting on the sideline because you know you're going to be going up against this guy. And I've always had a mentality where it's like I'm here to win. I'm here to be the best version of myself
Nice.
And that's where the difference comes in, where it's like a lot of people, they just do it to have fun. For me, it's I do it because I want to be the best.
Right. So you got that commitment, you got that drive, and you've grown up with it. I would imagine watching your dad compete, of how much effort it takes to even do bodybuilding. So with you growing up with it, did you have any struggles ever, or you enjoyed it? Like it's always been something you've been.
I've always enjoyed it. I didn't really start training actually seriously until about grade 10.
Okay.
And then from grade 10 to grade 12 is where things really took off. I went from 110 to 170 in 2 years, and then I was still super lean at 170. And that was when in high school was when I started competing in powerlifting. So grade 12, I did my first powerlifting comp, and then really enjoyed that. That was really fun for me. And then ever since then, I've just been competing in powerlifting and bodybuilding. And my goal for myself is to just do one of each a year.
Okay.
So I do one powerlifting competition a year and one bodybuilding competition a year. And my goal for myself is not just to win. It's to do better than the last time. So when I do the powerlifting, I only compete in powerlifting if I know that I'm going to beat my last total.
Okay.
Because that means I'm getting better. Same with bodybuilding. I only compete if I know I'm going to be better on stage than I was the last time.
Okay.
So it's, for me, it's not just competing just to have fun. For me, it's competing to beat my old version of myself.
Nice. Yeah. That's great. Now with bodybuilding and powerlifting, is it the same structure, like for your meals and things like that? Are they similar? Or do you have to change it up a little bit depending which one you're competing in?
That's a good question. Good question. It's so obviously when you're bodybuilding in your off season, you're eating a lot of food, right? So no matter what, your strength's going to be super high. So in the off season is when I do my powerlifting competitions.
Okay.
And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to line it up because the competitions can be at different times and stuff.
Right.
Like last year, I did nationals for powerlifting 4 weeks prior to nationals of bodybuilding.
Oh, so how was that?
That was like, and surprisingly enough, I beat my last total in powerlifting.
Wow, that's fabulous.
But when it came to the bodybuilding at nationals, I wasn't at my best because I was holding on to water. I was like, I still trained heavy leading into prep, but not like top singles and stuff. And like, whereas the last prep was like, well, I have to because I'm doing the powerlifting competition, so I have to full send. So yeah, those ones. This time it was timed out a lot better, where I had about a good 14 weeks of just focusing on strictly bodybuilding. And I still powerlift while I'm bodybuilding, but I'm not. This prep was not as doing like top singles and stuff as much.
Right. So if you could give advice, a piece of advice to someone that's considering bodybuilding, what would that?
I think
what would the best
advice I could tell someone is you got to do it for yourself. Because like for bodybuilding and stuff, if you're just doing it because your friend likes it, or you're doing it because you saw someone else doing it and you're going to give it a try, or you're doing it because you just want to try something new. I've came to realize that especially bodybuilding, like if you want to do well, it's got to be something that you have a very strong desire to do well in.
Yes.
Because it's definitely one of the harder sports to play. So if you want to do bodybuilding, I mean, I encourage everybody to do it. I encourage everyone to lift weights, like no matter who you are, what sport you play, everybody should be lifting weights. But to compete in bodybuilding, I think that if you're going to do it, you need to mentally prepare yourself and have to fully lock it in, and you have to have a very strong desire
Great
to do
advice.
well.
Yeah, great advice.
Yeah, a couple things that I want to add.
Sure.
Actually,
Absolutely.
I think that the main goal for just people striving for greatness, yes, they're doing it for themselves, but I feel like to really take yourself to the next level, you need to think about how you're inspiring other people. So if you're able to, because no matter how it is when you're competing in bodybuilding, you're gonna have days where it's like, how am I gonna mentally push through this? You know what I mean? Like, how am I gonna get to the other side? And when you realize that what you're doing is not just inspiring yourself, when you actually realize that what you're doing is inspiring the community around you, that alone will give you more drive and more passion to go harder in the gym, take everything more seriously. So yes, at the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself, but where you keep reminding yourself that you are helping other people as well. And when you realize that, inspiring other people to pursue their dreams is a very big thing in life, because it can change their life as well.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I want to thank my guest today and my listeners for joining me at Beyond the Prep. If you like this episode and want to make sure you don't miss any others, please subscribe. You can also find us on YouTube.